Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Business Professor Show. I'm your host, J. Mance Gordon. What I want to talk to you about today is what do you learn in business school, and do you actually need to learn those things to take part in the business environment or be successful in the practice of business? Well, let's start with the first part. What do you actually learn in business school? Now, if you were to jump into any undergraduate business program, you're generally going to undertake several common classes. That is, you're going to take economics, accounting, probably an introductory finance, communication, business, law, introduction to management, introduction to marketing, and that's probably about it. After that, you'll take on specialty courses by selection that may revolve in areas of operations, finance, marketing, accounting, even highly specialized fields like real estate or human resources and things of that nature. There will always be a couple of management courses in there, such as organizational behavior, and you may have some more general marketing courses spread out there as well. But that's the general or core curriculum that you'll undertake in most business schools. Okay, so this is generally thought of to be the holistic or well-rounded approach to understanding how businesses run. If you can understand business law, you can focus on the legal and repercussion stuff. You can focus on the communication aspect, the ability to effectively communicate others, a crucial skill as part of business. Accounting, how you keep up with the activities that are going on in the business. That is, how do you account for the exchange of value in the form of money coming in, money going out, the value of resources acquired or changing hands or being transferred within or outside of the organization. Finance, how do you pay for things and how do you budget your available financial resources towards things. Marketing, how do you develop a product, make people aware of it, put it into the stream of commerce, and then package it so that others, once again, receive it, the sales process, etc. And so anyway, this is the general area of what you're learning in business. If you're already in business, you've been exposed to this. If you're just beginning your educational journey in business, then you're starting to dive into this. Why do I think it's important, and do you need to know all of these things? Well, generally, you don't need to be an expert in everything, but you should have a general understanding of everything. Do you need to understand everything to the extent that it's taught in individual business school courses? Probably not. And most of the information that you'll learn in these courses will be forgotten. Research has very adequately shown that much of what you learn in individual courses is forgotten. Now, the idea here is that this initial exposure will resurface and you'll have some level of familiarity or you'll have some level of recall when you're faced with these types of situations in the workforce. Now, that's not always the case. It's not always true. There are some core fundamental tenets there that will stick around, but much of the information, particularly things that are irrelevant to any area of exposure that you have had or will have for some time, such as leadership courses and management courses. Oftentimes the material is so far afield from what you've experienced in the past or what you will experience for some time after joining an organization that it's less helpful. Now, I've often heard this phrase of, I learned more during the first 6 months of my job than I did in all of my studies in school. And that to some extent is true in terms of what you do in the business environment. And it's true because much of what you've done is engaged. It is directed towards a specific outcome other than simply passing the course. Now, if school were structured a bit differently and you had specific tasks to accomplish, you would probably learn more in the school environment just because of the length of time that you had to do it, a multi-year period versus that 6-month period. But once again, the workforce shows how the acquisition of knowledge is expedited and made more efficient because it's made relevant to what you're looking for. But with that being said, back to the topic of, do you need to learn about all these things? To a certain extent, yes, because that provides the framework for how you will, once again, even start off in addressing these situations when they arise for the first time or early on in your career. And oftentimes the recall that you do bring is the high points, the things that will help guide you towards the ultimate conclusion of how you deal with the problem, but it will give you a baseline as well for going back and thinking about how you handled situations, employee conflict, training, motivation, things of that nature that you'll go back and think back to your studies. And then oftentimes individuals will go back for graduate degrees. The MBA degree, which I talk about in other videos, is premised primarily on the idea that you've had some level of practice in these fields for various years. You come back to an MBA program and you can reinforce your knowledge and understanding of how you handle scenarios that implicate these fields of study. Because in an MBA program, much of what you learn is repetition or repeated from undergraduate or lower level business courses. So you say, why do you go back to the MBA program? Well, now you have context, you have experience so that you can apply these more fully. Also, the MBA program is more focused around this whole application or case-based method of applying the information, where undergraduate is less so. So here's my points of thought for today. Do you need to learn all these things in business school? Do you need to know everything that's there? Of course not. Should you have some general introduction and understanding of how these areas of business study fit together? Absolutely. Can business school do that for you? Yes, particularly if the program is structured well. If the program is not structured well, then obviously it's going to be far less effective. But regardless, it is knowledge, it is information that if you acquire it, it will never hurt you. It will only help you in your career. So hopefully you begin to see the opportunity to learn what is there and to reinforce that knowledge as just that, an opportunity to be a better business person. So to go back to the initial question that I posed to you, is there value in the business education and should you learn all that stuff? Yes, you should. You absolutely should. And thebusinessprofessor.com gives you some opportunity to be exposed to it, to reinforce what you've been exposed to before in the past, and to dive in it as deeply as you desire. So with that being said, I hope to see you around the community. Until then, take care. Hello everybody. I hope you're enjoying the content, and please pardon the interruption. I just want to take a moment to remind you that this is just a small sample of the various resources we have in our academy at thebusinessprofessor.com. We have long-form book summaries, business courses, business and legal templates, a career TV channel, an AI-powered business encyclopedia, recent headlines, and lots of other benefits to explore as well. So please, I hope to see you as a member of the community sometime in the future.